check. 1, 2. Testing, testing. Can anybody?
You're listening to Chill Your Mind Radio.
You my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you still want me, I hope you still need me a million years from now. The seasons are changing, the nights ever fading. It's time we left the ground. Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high. 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 Keeps me high.
For more music, check out our Spotify and YouTube playlists. Enjoy.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you still want me, I hope you still need me a million years from now. The seasons are changing, the nights ever fading. It's time we left the ground. Let's leave for an eternity.
everybody. All right, we're going to get started. Sorry, I was just finishing up dinner. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's do it like this. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday. Nice little start to the week so far. Bear with me here. All right. Let me throw this out. Can you guys hear me? Everyone good?
All good.
Awesome,
Mike.
awesome, awesome. All right, let me move this over. Bam, there we go. We are rock solid. All right.
Cool.
Come on. Why is this not gonna freaking? Do you guys? Hey, do you guys see like my chart cuts off at the bottom of the screen?
No,
No,
I
I
can
see your
see
full
the
screen.
chart.
Yeah, your full desktop showing.
All right, cool. All right. I don't know what's up. Zoom was kind of glitching out on me earlier. You know it. I'm wearing a COVID shirt, man. Absolutely. I don't know if you could see it, but it's got a little more innuendo into it. But yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's start. Let me move this over here so this doesn't get in my flipping way. Yeah, it's like cutting off. Why the heck won't this? There we go. Wait, let's see. All right, whatever. We'll deal with it. No biggie. So on the calendar, there's really not much, right? We got a little bit of CAD news coming up that I'm looking forward to. Right, some Bank of Canada info coming out tomorrow at 10 a.m. my time, and really that's about it. I mean, the unemployment numbers are coming out, Thursday. That's it. It's a pretty dead calendar. So I'm not too, there's not going to be a lot that's going to move the market as far as fundamentals, but we are looking at some decent moves. I don't know why it's not letting me drag to make this bigger. Let's see if I put it down here and I drag it up. There we go. All right, bam. Whatever, this stupid thing. All right, so one of the things I'm personally looking at right now, I want to get into it because it's actually it's met my confirmations for entry. It's Bitcoin. I don't know who trades Bitcoin, but we have a really nice accumulation schematic on Bitcoin. I shared this on Zach McDonald's Go Live just like an hour ago, and it's something that I've been tracking. I back tested Bitcoin. I haven't back tested any of the other crypto. I'm not a huge crypto trader, but but if the shoe fits, might as well walk in it. So one of the things I'm looking at is targets are going to be the imbalance areas up here. I'm really looking at 11,500 is where I want to take this to. But even if we go to this imbalance right here and we just fill it, that would be enough for me. And you can see this is a nice almost 10 to 1. What is it? Yeah, 9.2 to 1 going off 50% of this 30-minute candle. So on the schematic, we clear accumulation here. Secondary test in B here, we created equal lows on 2 tests of it. Ran those lows just about an hour ago, and this is the candle, right? So you could play it off the 15 or the 30. I'm personally taking 50% of the 30, which comes and just above the wick on the 15-minute candle. So if you want to crunch it, you can. But for me and my criteria, this wick right here, we came down. I mean, the agenda was pretty clear. We took all of this, and all of this liquidity out. We showed that willingness, that demand was enough to take it higher. We broke above, which is what I'm looking for on the break of structure. And now I'm going to just wait for the test, whether we come up and clear these highs and then come back, it doesn't matter. But I have my order sitting right here at 50%. of this 30-minute candle, stop, just below this wick. And again, I'm looking to target, me personally, I'm looking to target 11,500 is where I want to take it up to, right? Because that'll make it just over a 10-to-1 for me. If we start to move a little quicker, I may look at going a little higher, maybe like 11,750 would be an area I'd be looking at. But I'll throw this in the chat so you guys can have the chart.
Quick question, Mike.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just see that, you have obviously Bitcoin, cryptos, they wick a lot.
Mhm.
Do you use that same tight stop loss?
Yeah, everything
Okay.
everything I've back tested. So I back tested the last 3 months. I've only done it to Bitcoin, right? But I back tested the last. I did it yesterday. I went 3 months, and I only did accumulation. I didn't do distribution, but just because I saw this schematic being played out yesterday. On a schematic, it doesn't wick below the spring. So, my stop loss is right here. I'm not going below that. For me, it's 129 pips. That's when I'm going to be risking. I'm only doing a 0.5% lot on it. And like I said, so if this hits out, it's 11-to-1, so I'll walk away with like 5.5% on it. But here,
Thank you.
I'll throw it in the chat, man. We'll get it. But yeah, it's off the 30-minute. I'm not looking to take this to the moon or anything, which I don't even think it will. I think this is just going to mitigate out of these two imbalances, and we're going to continue down. Because if you look on the daily, I'm looking at Bitcoin coming here, right? Which is like 7,600 to 8,000. I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook today. They're like, yeah, there's a lot of support here in Bitcoin around like the 9,000. It won't, I don't see it ever dropping below 9,000 again. And I was like, all right, sounds good, man. That works. But there's the link for that on Bitcoin. Other than that, let's kind of look at some stuff that I'm looking at. Is Victor on the call? No, he's not. All right, that's Slug. Let's look at DXY real quick. So on the dollar index, we're playing out pretty nicely. It sucks because I really wanted that, that retest of demand or to take it into, it's on the 4-hour. There we go. Right. I wanted us to come back and once we broke structure to create the test. We haven't done it. Now, it's not to say that we won't. We can clear this liquidity up here, which we just did, come down and test it, and then create, as long as we don't get outside of the trading range, right? As long as we don't break above this trading range right in here, then I'd still consider this a valid test of demand, and then creating, a further schematic going up. And once, am I saying that the dollar is going to get back up to 100? I don't think so. I mean, one of my key areas I'd be looking at is this 4-hour candle right in here. That's where I'm going to be looking. But this is playing out really nice. It would have been nice to get an entry on one of the dollar crosses, once we had broken the spring. But honestly, there really wasn't anything. I tried on GU. I broke even on it. I'll cover that. But it is playing a nice schematic. So at least I know what the agenda is. I know where they're going to be taking. I know overall we're looking at coming up to here. So it is what it is. But with that in mind, we're looking for, dollar bullishness. I'm looking for that pullback. If I can get that pullback on the dollar, I'll be looking at some stuff, right? And if you guys had anything you're looking at, throw it in the chat, man. We'll take a look. This is really the only thing I'm looking at right now. Looking at this, one of the things I am also just pointing out is on US dollar Swiss franc. So let's look at, what I did on this chart here. US dollar Swiss franc. Victor actually pointed it out to me this morning, and we're in accumulation on the larger time frame. So that plays out, right? I want to see the rejection right here, which is what we're getting. I'm going to start to look potentially tomorrow morning pre-New York for distribution to sell this down, right? Because we need to create a spring. We need to come down here, create a spring, wherever it is, You know, I don't care exactly where it's going to spring to, but I would like to try to sell this down if in fact this is going to happen. And that would correlate with the dollar pulling back to get that test after it's already grabbed liquidity, which it's already doing. You know, it's grabbing liquidity. So I would like to, and if we kind of just throw this up like this, right? Kind of give you an idea just so you can see it correlated with the assets. Let's go to the 4 hour. All right. So yeah, pretty much this is what I'm looking at, right? I am looking, right? So I want to see us, we've grabbed liquidity here, right? And I want to see us come back down to get into this range here, right? To get into this range here, which correlates with this, okay? You know, and if that creates the spring, then we're good. All right. But that's ultimately what I'm looking at. It would be a nice, you know, nice little trade on USD Swiss franc. Right now, I don't see anything even worth looking at. You know, I'm going to wait for New York. I'd like to see us stay in this range here, you know, potentially, you know, something like, you know, I'll just box it off and distribution, and we'll just put it up on the top. You know, if I wake up tomorrow morning and we're in this box still, you know, then I'll start looking at for a schematic to try to sell it down, you know, but if not, you know, we'll just wait. I'll wait to see how we play it out. But, you know, larger time frame, this is what I like to see on a larger time frame. And then I'll start getting down into the smaller time frames, like on a 15 or something like that, and look for distribution. US 30 gap potential entry at 27,305. Yeah, we'll get to US 30. I'm not a huge fan of trading it right now. Potential entry. No, I'll tell you right now, I'm not looking to sell US 30 until we break this high right here, until we fill that gap. Yeah, I'm not looking at anything right now, just because this is structure for me. I need a break for me to get into it. I need that break of structure to happen, and then I'll take the test. But that's just me.
Do you, and then well, okay, yeah, I understand. And then are there those equal lows though, right there, that around that entry that I was telling you about on like the 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart almost, like the one of the 5 minute chart. I like the 15 minute because I see the engulfing and then those equal lows right there, yeah, to take it up to the gap.
Yeah, but so I mean, that's up to you. For me, this doesn't meet my so for my rules, my confirmations, I would need price to break this up here, and that, you know, if that happens, that's already closed the gap. You know,
Right. Okay.
you're talking about like these equal lows right here.
Yeah, like that right there. And if you do the 15-minute chart, there's like a nice engulfing candle right there that will scoop those up, and then that was my idea behind it, you know. So buy it there to fill the gap.
You could. It's just like I said, for me on the 1 minute, this is just a huge manipulation sell off, and it's just going to kind of trick away. I mean, yeah, it could go there, you know. But for me, it's not a high. For me personally, it's not a high probability setup. Just because there's nothing for me to work off of. Yeah, it broke structure, right? This is the previous structure on the 1 minute. But what's the higher time frame telling us? You know, the higher time frame is telling us, you know, if we come to, I mean, just come to like the 1 hour, right? In the 1 hour, technically we're bearish, right? We broke below all this stuff here. So yeah, I mean, like I said, for me to put any risk and risk any money into this, I mean, I've got accumulation being built. You know, I was looking at this earlier. I guess I could delete this stuff now because it did do it. But I was looking at it this afternoon. But I would need us to break above here. So one of the things I potentially would do is maybe this, let's see what the 30 minute, 15 minute, what's that 5 minute? Now I like well, let's look at the 10. Hold on. Ooh, that 10 minute might be, man. That 10 minute might be. Let me see the difference between the 10 minute and the 5 minute. Jeez, man. I don't even know if I could take this trade. That may be too big of a stop loss. Yeah, that's too big of a stop loss for me. I may not even take this trade on accumulation unless let's see, did this mitigate out? No, it didn't. Let's see. Hold on. There's nothing to say that it'll come back down here.
Yeah, Nasdaq already closed the gap.
What's that?
Nasdaq already closed the gap.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not much of a gap trader.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember that you said that.
Yeah. To me, it's a trap, because what'll
Yeah, for
happen
sure.
is 9 times out of 10, it'll probably happen, but that 10th time, it'll slam you down, it'll gap, it'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. So for me, I like doing these moves right here. So let me see.
I mean, there's that 2-week gap
Yeah.
when S&P broke those all-time highs, and then there's that 2-week gap that got filled just, was it Thursday or Friday?
That's still 124 points, man. Holy crap on a 5-minute. All right, let me see. So the only problem with this 5-minute is, right, so this is that last down candle. Price broke above it, and then price came back and traded into it. So realistically, this 5-minute candle has been mitigated out of. Let me just see. I think S&P might be a cleaner play. All right, so maybe this 3-minute candle would work. Let me just see what 50% of this 3-minute candle would be. Oil, you're looking at it on bounce back up. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, oil. Yeah, I'll look at it. I'm looking at it. I may not trade oil, but I'm using it for the Canadian dollar. But yeah, I see accumulation. If you look at the 30-minute, I think you should start to see accumulation on it. Goodness, man, even at 50% of this candle, we're at 46 points, man. That's a no bueno. All right, let's see. Son of a gun. All right, let me go to the 1-minute. All right, I think the 1-minute's going to be it. Let me see. I don't see it coming back here. All right, well, so for me, this is what I probably would do. 1 minute. Oh, wait, 50% of the 1 minute. 50%. 1 minute. I see. Everyone on here, right? You guys have been on here for a while, so you guys know what I'm doing, right? Like, I don't need to really explain it. I haven't looked at who's
Can you explain real quick, Mike, though?
Yeah.
I really like the 15-minute because it engulfs the other candle.
Sure. I agree. Are you talking about what? This candle right here? What 15-minute candle are you looking at?
I guess my broker looks different.
Let me look at another feed. Hold on. Equities. Let's go to this one here. All right. So that's the
my 15-minute for sure has an engulfing candle. That second candle right after the gap is an engulfing candle.
So this candle here, because this is the gap, right? We closed here and then we opened like somewhere down here, right? So
yeah.
Well, it's engulfing because this candle isn't here, right? So
right.
exactly. I don't know if futures is open yet. Let me see. Hold on. EYM. Yeah. So here's the futures one. So you're saying this candle's an engulfing?
On my broker, on Ugo's at least, it shows it being as an engulfing candle, and then you have the equal lows.
You're trading
and then you have the equal lows with the other one.
Still? Oh man! All right, let me see.
Yes,
hold on.
sir.
Let me look at my broker. Yeah, no. My 15 minutes not a engulfing either.
Not engulfing. Okay.
Yeah. That's Hugo's way trying to trick you, man. They're gonna trap you. They're gonna trap
For
you.
sure. I mean, that's why I saw that entry down there. Yeah, I'll try and take a screenshot and post it in the chat just so you can see.
Yeah. Because if you look, just to give you an idea, right? I'll show you. I'll just show you real quick. All right, here we go. So yeah, so that's what my 15-minute looks like. Can you see it?
Let me see here. Sorry, Mike. I was just sending that screenshot here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
That's my
Yeah, no,
15
yeah, I
minute.
don't have that huge. Yeah, my that candle doesn't exist. That big gap candle doesn't exist on mine. I just
Yeah.
posted it in the
All right,
Telegram.
let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see FX choice. Same thing, FX choice.
Same thing. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Thank you.
hey, no worries, man. No worries. That's Hugo's way trying to do you dirty, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, can you at least look at that one though what I posted though to see if I guess if my
Let me see.
ideology was right behind it to
Yeah,
see
yeah. Hold on.
that would be like an entry because like I said it had those nice equal lows and then engulfing was like sitting right there.
All right. Where'd you post it?
Telegram on the trading family.
Hasn't put. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, it hasn't come in yet. All right, I'll take a look at it.
Oh, yeah, no,
But
yeah, hasn't come in.
so, but for me, just so you guys have an idea, right? So for me, I'm not saying that it'll come. You know, it very easily, right, could do this. It very easily could break above my confirmation list, right? Boom, break of structure, and then come back to wherever 50% of this 15-minute candle is, right? But for me, that's not worth my risk. Like I will never take that trade. Just because, like, just say hypothetically, that's what it is, right? I got to cover this wick, and I mean, we're talking almost a 200 pip stop loss. So that's I would rather just not do anything. Oh, I see it now. Here, hold on, let's see. Yeah, yeah. So you know, for me, it's just the setup's got to jive with. Okay, yeah, yeah. I see what you got. Yeah, that.
You see my idea behind it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I do. I just I wonder if I mean that might be closer to like the 5-minute. Hold on, let's see. Would you say like 305 is the price? At 305?
305 is literally right there, right at that would be filling the top of that engulfing on the 15-minute chart.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
so it's like the 5-minute. It would be like so it's like where the 5-minute starts.
Yeah, and then you have
You
those
know,
equal lows right there at
yeah.
like 27315 ish.
Yeah, but even I'll tell you right now, even on this 5-minute, it's not worth me taking. I mean, if you guys want to take it, you can, but like
Yeah,
the
no, that's fine. I was just like I said, just trying to see if my I guess the
yeah,
idea behind it
I
was
I do want to see it come down once we break structure. You know, because I mean the risk to reward on it, you know, realistically, I mean I would be targeting one of my first targets would be this area right here, right? That's one of my first targets. So I mean, even if you just if this is your 100% target right there, I mean that is sitting at a 9.5 to 1. So, you know, I'll take that all day. You know, I'll take that all day. But until so I have my alert here for break of structure until we break that structure, I'm not touching this thing yet, you know, but accumulation all day long. You know, I would imagine and I would like prophesize that, you know, we've had 3 straight days of down. I think tomorrow we're going to have an up day. So, you know, this is what I'm looking at. You know, I think S&P looks a little cleaner. Let me see. Yeah, S&P looks a little cleaner, but both of them would be equally worth taking. You know, for me, the break. Oh, actually, let me put an alert here too. For break of structure. Boom, boom, boom. All right, BOS. All right, so for me, I just need it to break above this area right here. Once we get that, then I'm golden, and I can look for the, you know, for the candle or whatnot that I want to catch that test. But I mean, it's clearly in, you know, in a nice accumulation schematic. We got a really nice FU. I mean, that was the F. When you see these huge FU candles like this to create a spring, it's called a TOS, right? It's a terminal spring, and like if you read about it, it tells you that it is like the mother of all inducing candles, and that's what it did. I mean, when I guarantee you, anybody that was trying to buy this here, right? They were like, oh, support or support. They just got taken out, and anybody that saw this, you know, that was, you know, looking at this as a gap, and then, oh, I'm going to retest, close the gap, and sell it down. They're going to be, they're definitely going to get slammed on it. All right. So that's what I'm personally looking at. These targets here are going to be my first targets. And then ultimately, I just want to take this up. I want to see if we can get up, back up into like the mid 3400s. But that's what I see on the indices, right? They're pretty clean right now. If I don't get that break of structure, I'm not going to take the buy, just because we are extremely bearish on it. Okay. I know someone asked about oil, right? So real quick, oil. This is what I see, right? I mean, higher time frame, right? We've kind of I wanted to see us. Here's 50% of this down daily candle right here, right? And we have some imbalance. I wanted to see us trade into it. Okay. So I'm not ready to jump in on a buy yet, but if my confirmations, happen, absolutely, right? If my confirmations happen, I'll take it. This is going to be our secondary test. I would like to, potentially get a secondary test in B. And then after we get that secondary test in B, wherever it's at, I want that confirmation of trading back up into the top end of this range. And then once we do that, I want the spring, right? I want the spring. And once we get the spring, a break of structure, I'll buy it up. I have no problem doing that. And then, my targets are going to be like in this area right here, like the 39, like 40 area, like right in here. Those are going to be my targets for the short term. And then long term, on the long term side, we definitely have some imbalance, right? I mean, you can see this is the last up candle right here. So potentially trading into that. All right. So I have no idea what the risk to reward will be on it. I could tell you it'll be phenomenal if we get the confirmations. Because even if, just hypothetically, just say we have I don't know, heck, we'll go with an 85. We'll go like an 85 pip stop loss. I mean, that is still a 6-to-1. So, which it won't be 85. It'll be, I think the last time I traded oil, I went with like a 15 pip stop loss. So, that's what I'm looking on oil, but it's on the 30-minute. It's pretty clean. You're starting to get it. We got our preliminary support right here. Selling climax. We got our automatic reaction. Secondary test. I just want to see us start to build this during the day, and if this happens, it's going to strengthen the CAD, which is what I want. And then we'll kind of go from there. So, all right, let's just go down I talked about the indices, right? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think 15 minutes is probably the best schematic on it. But it's pretty easy to see it. What do I have on gold, right? So on gold, man, I'll tell you what, gold, I was ticked, man. So gold on the 10-minute, right? Gold on the 10-minute. It didn't meet my confirmations, right? So what we did was we went into 50% of this last down candle that created the spring, right? So right there, this candle came back to 50%, and then we got the takeoff, right? That did not meet my confirmations because my break of structure, you can still see my alert line right here. My break of structure was there. So when this candle did that, we did not break structure. So I wasn't in this trade at all, but I did have the 5-minute. Was it the 5? Yeah. I did have this 5-minute that I was looking at. I wanted us to break above. And then once this happened, right, the sign of strength, come back down. I was waiting for it here. I mean, I think on my one account, it was like 16 and a half lots or something like that. I had waiting on it because it was such a tight stop loss. But this played out perfectly. I mean, it was a beautiful schematic. 1935 was my first point that I wanted, which is this high right here, where I wanted to start taking partials. But right now, I'm not entirely convinced that I want to take a buy if we do come back down here, right? Because structure-wise, this is the most relevant low on the 5-minute. I think what I would like to do is if we slowly trade down into it, then potentially tomorrow during New York session, I take a buy off 50% here. Ultimately, same risk, you know, stop loss just below this wick, but it would be more of a you know, because we have traded outside of the range, it would be more of a higher risk trade setup. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what London brings. You know, I mean, for all I know, this could just be reaccumulation right here. And if I get the confirmations of reaccumulation, then I'll just take the buy up, you know. So that's what I am waiting on it. Last night, what was it, London session? No, this was like 11:30 at night. I think it was off of the, right here. So this was a buy setup that I sent out last night. It was like 50% of that candle right there. You could see right here, missed by 4 pips, like the spread got me. And price went 100 and almost 130 before reversing. So that sucked because I wasn't watching it. I just had the order limit set. You know, it would have been a nice little run. You know, but ultimately, you know, we got a different schematic, you know. And if you look on the higher time frame, if we look at like maybe like a 2-hour, you could start to see this is bigger accumulation right here. This ultimately was the spring that just happened on this 2-hour accumulation. So if that's the spring, I would anticipate us coming back, you know, at least into this open of this candle. So if we can get a little deeper, then this will play out. And that's the reason I'm kind of conflicted right now on gold. Is, you know, on the 15-minute or on the 5-minute, you know, I have a clear entry, and it lines up with the 2-hour, you know, coming down to create the spring, or I'm sorry, the test of the spring. Does everyone kind of follow, understand what I'm talking about? I know I got a bunch of crap on here, but you guys understand what I'm saying? Hopefully. All right. If not, you know, you can ask me, but yeah. So I anticipate us coming at least into this candle right here. All right. All right. So like, let's look at GU, right? GU, I think I'm not going to be looking at it anymore. Yeah. I was seeing ultimately, right? This is what I was looking at. And this is kind of my rules. So we got the spring, and I wanted to see us do this, right? From the spring, I wanted to see right, something like that, and then come maybe down into here and we take it up. But because we didn't get the break of structure, I didn't take the trade. All right. Same thing last night. Last night I had this. I think it was on the 5-minute. Yeah. Okay. So last night I had this. Right. We had a long drawn out schematic. We had our spring, and I actually took it off the 30-minute. That's what it was, 30-minute. Where are you? Here we are. Okay. Okay, so here's where I took, right? It was off the 30-minute. 50% of this 30-minute candle is what I took. So we broke above, cleared these highs, confirmation was met. And you can see we got a decent reaction off of it, right? We got a decent reaction. This was ultimately what I was playing off of, right? So I had 50% of that 30-minute candle. Stop was right there. It was about a 6-pip stop loss during London session, right? Price at one point went, right, because we broke above, came back. This is the candle that activated my order, and then we came up. So I was up 16 pips. So it was about a 2.5 to 1. I was up. At that point, like I went to break even. I put in the chat that I was at break even, and price just melted. Yeah, here it is right here. 16 pips before we're hitting break even. So, you know, I protected. This is ultimately a failed accumulation. You know, just the pound was just so bearish, you know, but I'm still not going to shy away from trying to take it. Everything else, all my other confirmations were there. So I took the setup, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm going to continue to keep buying it because we do have this Sunday gap up here, right? I'm going to try to continue to buy it as long as it meets my criteria. So right now, like this price action right here, no bueno. All right. This right here, I'm not even entertaining this as accumulation. All right. I would need to see an entire new 5 phases being started. But this right here is nothing for me. You know, it doesn't look clean. So, you know, I'm going to downgrade this back to over there. Take a look at S&P in a little bit. All right, so euro, right? Euro is looking pretty decent. Okay, euro is looking pretty decent. We have, I mean, on this, let's go to the 15. Let's see what the 15 looks like. Yeah, okay. So on the 15, right, preliminary support, selling climax, we made an automatic reaction. Our secondary test in B, that was confirmed because we traded to the higher end of the trading range. And then we came down very slowly, which is what I like to see. And we sprung. Now, this thing's going to keep going off. And then we sprung. So I want to see us break this structure. If we can break this structure, then I'll entertain looking possibly during London session or New York session for an entry to take this up. Okay. But that, because it'll meet my confirmations for that. You know, just how it's looking to play out here. Now, one of the things I may start to look for is a candle. Let me just see if there's a candle worth me even looking for. I mean, potentially this 45-minute would work. All right, potentially this 45-minute would be the one I would be going off of. Okay. And I'll dive into the smaller time frame to see, but let's just see what that'll play off of. Yeah, I mean, even if I want to cover the bottom of this wick, we're talking 7 pips. So the 45 is the one I'd probably play off of. But again, I would need that break of structure. 45-minute open. So if you guys, I'll send this in the chat. If you guys want to mark it up on yours, that's the candle I'm looking to play off of. All right. But here's the schematic ultimately. Right now, my targets, again, my targets on this are going to be very, very, you know, even just taking it to the high end, right? Even if we take it up to here, okay, which is the high end of the trading range out of this larger schematic, we're talking almost a 14-to-1, okay? And the reason I'm looking at this is here. Let me give you the agenda, right? So we'll go over to this chart here, okay? So what is actually being played out, okay? If we look at the 4-hour, right? What's the 4-hour doing? It's distributing, right? We have all the telltale signs of distribution. We're just missing the test, right? Which is I want to see us test back up into this stupid candle right here, all right? And it's all going to be, you know, on the dollars. There we go. It's going to be all on the dollar to get us up there. Okay. We need that dollar to start weakening. So on the 4-hour in distribution, but if we go to the 1-hour, right? What do we have on the 1-hour? Well, we're in accumulation. So this accumulation is going to get us to the test, right? The test of the 4-hour distribution. All right. So one of the things I wanted us to do is on this right now, I want us to continue up. I don't want us to continue down. I want us to continue up to test the top end of this range, right? Because this on the 1-hour time frame is the secondary test in phase B. So from here, if I want to see us strengthen up to the top end, right, around 1.86 hundred, right, 1.18600 is where I want to see us go to. That lines up with this bias on the 45-minute, right, or the 15-minute, however you want to play it. And if we break structure, I would take it, and actually that 15-minute candle, I wonder if that lines up 50%. Let's see. Sure as crap it does. All right. So I would want to break structure, take it down here, 186,500, right? 186,500 would be where I want to take us to. All right. Right there, that's an 11 and a half to 1. Okay. Because once we get up to a 1.8, actually, I got it wrong. I said 1.86500, right? I would just do a nice round number here. Okay. So that's where I would like to, yeah, here it is right here. The top end of this range. Okay. That's ultimately where I want to take it to, because this is the top end of that range right there. Okay. So does that make sense? You guys understand? You know, because once we get up here, I want to sell it. I want us to get into distribution. I would like to sell it down into a spring, right? Into a spring, which would be, and I know if I'm going too fast, slow me down, but if you follow, right, I want us to spring down into this H4 open candle, right? Because the playbook that the institutions are drawing is clear now. This 4-hour candle, I want us to get down into there, react off of this 4-hour candle, and then I will buy it. This will be the big buy. I want to buy it all the way up to this test, where then we're going to turn around and sell it all the way down to potentially get into this candle right here. Okay. So does that make, yes. Yep. Remember, they're fractal. So you're going to have schematics on every time frame. It's just trying to draw up the game plan. Okay. So higher time frame, we're in distribution. But in order for us to get up to complete this test, what needs to happen? Well, you know, this is my point of interest right here. So how are we going to get to this point of interest? Well, if we come down to the 15-minute, right, on this chart, okay, we're going to get down there by first coming up. We're going to break structure. If we do, I'm going to take the buy. I'm going to take it up to the top end of this trading range, right? And at that point, that is going to create, right? If we come up and just pop up above it, that's going to create a UA. From the UA, right? Then we're going to trade all the way down and create a spring on the 1 hour. All right. We're going to create a spring on the 1 hour, just like this. Come up, create that spring, react off that 4-hour candle, break structure wherever structure is, break structure, take the test, and then this is going to be the big buy to get us up to this H4 area to test the distribution candle, and then we're going to sell it off from there. So this EU, this entire schematic will probably play out in the next like 3 weeks. So EU, I've got the game plan set up for it. All right. But hopefully, does everyone understand that? How I'm seeing it, what I'm looking at, you know, the reasoning behind it. Hopefully you do. Yeah, because it is super clean, right? It is very, very clean. I like it. You know, I've got that alert. I've got that alert right here. I do like the 15-minute candle, 50% of the 15-minute candle, but I got my alert here for break of structure. Once we break above and clear this structure here, I'll take an entry off of that. You know, it'll be a 7 pip stop loss. Like I said, this may be, if I can catch this tomorrow, this might be one of the only 2 trades I take, right? Because this will give me a little over 6%. And if I get the Bitcoin one, that'll, you know, that I'm done. You know, that'll be it. You know, I won't trade anymore. But Euro USD here, what I'll do is I'll send you guys this so you guys can visualize what I'm looking at. So I'll send you the 4-hour. All right, so this is the 4-hour. And then this is the 1 hour. And then I'll show you the 15. Okay, and then remember, so I am looking to play off of that 15-minute candle right there. 50% of that, which is the 45-minute open. So I'm going to change this to and 50% of the 15-minute. Okay. So that's what I'm looking to play. Make this nice and clean. I had to change to, if you guys are wondering, I had to change to the white background because I've been printing out so many charts for my journal book that, and to just keep, keep everything in a nice binder as well as on my computer. But that's what I'm looking on EU. All right. And if we look at it, right, if we compare that to dollar index, let's just actually here, watch. Let's come here to dollar index. We'll go to the 4-hour, and then I'm going to bring up EU. Okay, so if we line it up, right? If we line it up, it is, for me, I'm always more partial to accumulation. So if I come here and just flip EU, right? You can see, right? You can see the accumulation here, right? Secondary test, we made our spring, we broke above. I want it to come back to the spring, which is the same thing I want in DXY. All right. So everything jives, everything lines up perfectly with it. So that's how I'm looking to play EU. All right. Any questions on EU? You guys good? You guys see what I'm looking at? NU, I was looking for this as well, but I don't like this price action, right? I don't like it. UCAD 2, I was looking, what was it on the 1 hour? I think it was the 1 hour. Yeah, but that was my target. My targets were these equal highs on UCAD, and we got there without ever pulling back, so I'm not worried about it. I do want to show you guys this, right? So this is another one I'm looking at. It's CAD-J, right? So just look at this, right? And this happened during Asian session. CAD-JPY reacted off this 2-hour candle right here, right? We could see this 2-hour candle. 2-hour candle had liquidity. We just dumped it and then rejected pretty nicely off of it. So what I personally am looking for on CAD-J, okay, to take this up is, because I do want to take this up, is an accumulation. So you can see I've already boxed it off. All right. And I just want now to get the points filled. All right. If this is our selling climax, have a secondary test somewhere in here, right? If this was our automatic reaction, the one thing we don't have is a true preliminary support, right? But if this is our selling climax, okay, then I would want a secondary test somewhere. Oh, son of a gun. I hate when I do that. Secondary test there. Then I would like, an ST and B, and then a spring, right? So I'll pay attention. I'll see how London moves, right? Potentially, get something like this. This will be the trading range for right now. It could change. But ultimately that's what I'm looking at. Something like this. All right. So this is ultimately how I trade, right? When I start to see something, it's got to meet my confirmations. If it meets my confirmations and we start getting a nice schematic on it, then I'll crunch the numbers and we'll go, how do you differentiate liquidity grabs and ST and UTAD, for example? They could be a liquidity grab, like this was a liquidity grab, right? All day long, this was a liquidity grab. How do I know that? Well, because if we just look at the 2-hour, right, we had clear equal lows, and what happened? We just slammed down on it, right? So this was a liquidity grab. The same thing happened on Euro USD just now, right? So equal lows, right? And what happened? This candle right here Actually, this long one right here, this long one right here was a liquidity grab, right? Because we broke below it. But what does that translate for us? Well, that's our you know, ultimately, I don't know yet if it's our STNB or if this is going to be our STNB. You know, it all depends. My confirmation for a secondary test in phase B would be that it needs to now test the top end of this range. Doesn't have to come all the way up, right? But we need to get into the top end of the range. So if this ultimately does this, right? If this comes up here, then this is confirmation that this was our STNB. Okay. Does that give you an idea there? and you know, just remember your spring and your UTAD, right? They're I mean, they're synonymous with each other. So the whole idea behind a spring and a UTAD is to grab liquidity. Okay. And if you look, where's that? Let me just pull it up. Hold on. If you go to, where is it? I'm just going to pull up my book real quick, and I'll show you the true definitions. Come on. All right, so this is that PDF I sent you guys. I'll tell you right now, this was one of the best books I've ever. You know, this is where I've really learned all of my Wyckoff stuff. But yeah, if you just come to the definitions, right, on each phase. Here we go. If you just come to definitions, bam, right? Okay, so your TSO, right, which is the same thing as a spring. It's just a bigger spring, right? What's it doing? It is a deep penetration of a level of support, right? So if you're going into support, what are you doing? You're grabbing liquidity. So that's what that is. Okay. If say, you know, conversely, right? If you are looking at a UTAD, right? UTAD is the same thing. An up thrust after distribution, it's a breakage of the maximums of phases A and B, which is your resistance level, and that is to grab liquidity. Okay, so that's exactly what those are designed to do. Just grab liquidity. All right, but that is CJ, right? I would keep an eye on CJ. And again, what is that basis? Why am I you know, looking for CJ to do this? Because remember, I am also seeing on the 30-minute time frame accumulation on oil. So if I'm looking at oil to go long, I've got to be bullish on the CAD. Okay. If oil is bullish, the CAD is bullish. The whole reason, right? The whole reason we saw all Canadian pairs just weaken is because oil was weakening over the last 2 days. All right. So CAD JPY is one. I don't have it on my order list just because I needed to fill out the schematic. All right. EuroCAD is one that I was looking at, and I'm just a little ticked off about it. Actually, that's Euro GBP, EuroCAD. Here we go. So EuroCAD, I had this 4-hour right here that I was looking at, and here's my alert. The stupid thing never came down. We've broken structure, right? We've taken this previous lower high. We did leave equal lows though, right? So we did leave equal lows that I just see now, which is nice. So the agenda would be for that to come down and get taken, all right? And if that comes down to get taken, well, just looking at this 4-hour, man, this 4-hour might be the play. Right, that may be the play right there, because if you look at it here, you know, let me do a clean one. Hold on, EuroCAD. Let me go make a clean one. All right. Oh, look at that. I already had it. That's funny. I already had it. All right. So if you look at it, we are in accumulation here, right? We are in accumulation. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, right, this is ultimately our trading range. So if I just come here and throw this down, right, this is our preliminary support. Let me just check volume. I'm curious to see. Yeah, I mean, volume isn't the greatest. So like in your preliminary support, you'd like to see volume increasing, and you can kind of see how here it's kind of like decreasing. So, but this isn't true volume, so I'm not too significantly worried about it. All right. So if this was our selling climax, that is our secondary test. Actually, yeah, secondary test in B. This is our secondary test. This potentially is our spring. Right? And then we come up here, make our UA. Okay. So ideally, this is what I'm looking at, right? So this is our and then comes up to here to secondary T. Okay. So the reason I'm looking at it like this, right? What confirmations do I have? Well, if this is ST and B, look at that. It tested the top end of the range. Okay. So this would be our spring. Now, this potentially has already tested out. Okay. Ultimately, I don't really see. I mean, potentially if price broke above here, but I don't know if where I would have taken it. This potentially was the break of structure right here, right? That was the break. It's not true structure. So when I say break of structure, I'm just talking about a significant high. So this was the most significant high, and I am gonna print this chart out because I missed it, but that is the significant high, right? So this was your spring candle. Okay, that's your spring candle, and then you can see that price did mitigate out of this candle. Okay, did mitigate out of this candle. What time was that at, man? Oh, right at 5 o'clock. No wonder I didn't see it. I would never have taken this trade. Not at 5 o'clock, right? But on a 4-hour candle, I mean, look at that. On a 4-hour candle, you're talking a 23 pip stop loss. That's not bad. That's not bad. And you'd be sitting right now at a 5 to 1. But so now what we have to do is we have to look for some areas that price is going to try to react off of, right? Because I do want to take this higher, right? I wanted to take it higher off that 4-hour, but so what exactly happened, right? So price came here. This is what you want to see. You want to see that willingness. It tested, it shook out all of the buyers from here, right? Anybody that was buying is now shaken out. It has induced sellers. All right. Technically it FU'd, right? So then at this area here, price showed that willingness to take off, comes back to test a demand zone, right? There's a demand, right? There was buyers that came here. So they're coming back to see if there's enough buyers to take us up. And sure enough, it does. It comes up, it retests one more time. So this ultimately is our test, right? That's our test. And now what we want to do is we want to come into an LPS, right? We want to come into an LPS, and our LPS would be a last point of support, okay? So where's an area that we have seen an area of support, and that is going to be right in this area right here, right? That is in that area right there where I would like us to get into, okay? So now it's just diving into a smaller time frame to see what we can see in this area. Okay, what can we see in this area? One of the things I do want us to do is I want us to get up here though, right? Because I do want us to get into a signs of strength, right? I want to see a signs of strength to then come into an LPS. And then ultimately, we'll do a backup or LPS somewhere up here, right? So this is how I want to see us playing. And now it's just a matter of finding where the heck we're going to go, right? Want to see this, come back down into this area, break up into a backup LPS, and then we're going to take it up. That's ultimately what I want to see. You know, does everyone understand what I'm looking at, how I'm looking at this? So now let's get in here. Let's see what we got. All right, so last down candle, mitigate out. Last down candle has not mitigated out, right? So we have, I'm just going to label it H1 open. We'll see if we can get a smaller time frame here. Nope. That's been mitigated out, right? We can see this candle here, right, was mitigated out here. We broke above, came back, and tested out of it. All right. Now we do have some imbalance here. All right. And a little bit of imbalance there, but I'm personally not really concerned with this down here. That might be the play right there, that 5 minute. Let's see. 5 minute open. So off this 5 minute open. All right, there's 2 points I'm going to be looking at. There's the other point that I'm going to be looking at. Just in case, that'll be my secondary one. So these are the two areas I'll be looking. Okay. Even off this 1 hour, let me just see where that 50% of that 1 hour goes to. Look at that. 50% lines up with the 5 minute open. So I'm going to set an alert here. So ultimately, this is what I'm looking at. Coming off of this 50% stop loss right there. So we're talking, 7.5 pips. Yeah, so we're talking 7.5 pips. All right, as a stop loss, and ultimately just taking it up to there. Okay, that is a nice 16 to 1. Okay, that's what I'm looking to do. And if we maintain these as equal highs, even better, right? If they're not, then no big deal. At that point, I'm not too concerned with it because we are in accumulation, but this would be like that, right? That'd be liquidity. That'd be my first targets. Take it up, wait for a pullback into the top end of this range, right? The backup, last point of support, and we're going to take it up. All right. So that's ultimately what I'm looking for this. All right. So here's the larger schematic. And then I'll go down to the smaller time frame so you guys can see it. How accurate is the fib when you measure from the PS to the AR to confirm accumulation might be happening? You're talking, okay, so it needs to be a minimum of 38.2. All right, if that makes sense. So, and it's not to the AR, right? It is in order to confirm that this is a preliminary support, okay? You need to measure from this high, okay, the last significant high, to the low, All right. And this move here, and obviously this is, I mean, I want to say this is probably like a 71. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a 71. All this it has to be a 38.2. So, which, you know, I don't even have the 38.2, you know, on here. I can kind of just eyeball it, but, you know, realistically, there's your 38.2 right there. Okay. So that would confirm the preliminary support, or on the opposite side, your preliminary supply level. You know, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, but once you do it enough, you kind of know, you just by eyeballing it, you can tell that from this previous high to this low, whatever that pullback was, it has to be a 38.2. All right. Um, and most of the Wyckoff books will teach you that. I know it's in that methodology book, for sure. And you know, I know everything else in Wyckoff. If I remember correctly, hold on. I know I've shared. Let me see if it's in here as well. This chart school. Yeah, it's a really cool method, man. Like I've been back testing it up the wazoo. You know, I probably spend more of my time back testing it than anything. I thought I highlighted this thing, but no. But I know it's for sure it's in that book, because I wrote down 38.2 on it, and that confirms it. Okay. Your you know, this has to be a 38.2 pullback. If it's not a 38.2 pullback, then it's not. It doesn't meet the criteria for it. Okay. So let me go in here and I'll show you. I'll go to the 1 hour just so you guys can see the entry, right? So the entry would be this. All right. And it is that candle. Okay. So it's the 5-minute open and 50% of the H1, which gives me confluence. And that is all I need. All right. So, and again, I'm just taking it to this high. You can take it a little higher. Like if you want to go to 56,500, you know, 56,500 would be a nice round number, you know, for just over a 16-1. All right. But that is where I'm looking. All right. Um, the confirmations I would be waiting for before entering this trade. Okay. I would want to see price, and I'll set an alert up here. I want to see price get up to at least 56.3, yeah, like 56,300. All right. Because that's gonna give us that signs of strength that we're looking for. Like I said, if it breaks above here, that's fine. It's not going to invalidate the trade. Signs of strength does give that nice little push up before coming back to the last point of support. All right. But EuroCAD is one I'm looking at. Like I said, CJ is one. You know, EG, I really haven't seen anything on. I do have this 4-hour candle that is a point of interest. Um, you know, but like I said, I mean, I've already got EU, I got EuroCAD now, CJ. Um, you know, I'm not looking for a lot of setups. You know, realistically, if I trade 2 of these pairs, I'm done. You know, I'll be done. I'm not looking to get too crazy. Okay. Um, but Euro GBP, yeah, this 4-hour candle is something I've had marked up there for a while. You know, ultimately, what have we done? We've already swept all this liquidity up here. All right. I do want to take it lower, right? I've been trying to sell this stupid thing forever. Um, you know, if you look at the weekly, just look at the weekly, you'll see why I'm looking to sell it. So, you know, but I'll tell you right now, this candle, I know it's only the start of the week, but this candle doesn't give me a lot of confidence that we're going to be selling down. So, you know, I do have some targets, right? But I'm just going to trade what I see. what I would personally be looking for when we get up into this range up here is I want to see us start to distribute. All right. So maybe on the 5 or 15, I want to see a distribution schematic. All right. I do not want to see us just trading up, just start to die down, get that distribution going and then, wait for confirmations and we'll sell it. Okay. GA, man, it's just been melting. And then UJ is another one that I'm looking, right? So higher time frame, we're just in a trading range, right? Here's the high and the low, right? We're in this trading range. I did last Tuesday, right? We were on the call. I did buy it up to 106,500, which hit take profit. I would potentially be looking to sell it. I'm sorry, to buy it if we get down into this candle here, right? Equal lows. If we do get down in here, I would buy it and I would like to take it up higher. Okay. I'd like to take it up higher. But like right now, I don't see anything on this. This is nothing, so I do have an alert that I'm going to put right here. I'm just going to put it equal lows just to check it when it does take it. But that's pretty much it. That's all I'm really looking for, does anyone have any charts they want to look at, anything they want to dissect, anything, that clarification is needed? I hope I didn't run through it very quickly, but, once, once you get the markups going, I mean, it's pretty easy to see it from there, Any questions? Anybody got anything? Oh, anything at all?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to add something that could be helpful. Those you sent something. I think it was the Wyckoff Analytics before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at their website and they have this on their website. They have this thing. They're called bias games.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they have some charts and they're blank charts. They just have the candles, and then you can kind of see them and see if it's accumulation or distribution, and then you pick which one you think it is after you can kind of mark it up or take notes on it, and then it'll give you a breakdown of kind of what the phases and how they kind of played out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Have you?
I personally have never done it. I just got the material from them, and just started, going from there, yeah, but no, absolutely. That's a cool little resource. It's almost like a little test for you to get what you need, out of it. Does anyone have anything else? Anything at all? Anything you want to go over? Anything? Because if not, then heck, I'm going to call it a night. I'll get up for London. I typically probably, I'll tell you right now, I typically don't get up for London, but just because a lot of these setups that I'm looking at on EU and EuroCAD potentially are going to happen during London. So, I'll definitely get up for it. One thing, I'll tell you what, one thing that I've started to do here, hold on, let me grab it. So I took this, right? I started making different binders. So this is a Forex binder. I've got one for commodities and I've got one for indices. I got it from the idea from John Fibonacci, right? And I've tabbed out, right? I've tabbed out every currency and I do it in order that I take the trades. Any trade that I mark up, whether I take it or not, and I break it down. So I've got literally, I don't know if my digital thing is going to show. No, it's not. All right. No big deal. But anyway, every chart pattern that I ever send out, I throw in this book and I dissect it, right? I break it down. I'm like, all right, I could have taken a better entry here, or, I write notes in it to have something I can go back to. Not only that, but it helps when someone has a question, and whether they're at my house or I go out to, an area where I'm doing training, I could just show my book. I'm like, here you go, you know, and visually you can start to see it. Cause if I just start throwing a bunch of charts down, it's a little difficult for people to follow. But yeah. Oh, look who shows up. Bro, we're done. I went through everything. Slacker, bro. You there? Yeah, he's connecting his mic. He's got the worst audio in the world, man. Hey, I found something on EuroCAD that I think we can get into. Where's he at? Let's see. Here you go, Victor. This is what I'm looking at, bro. I'll send you the chart, but this is what I'm looking at. And then if we break it down to the 1 hour, that's the candle I'm looking at. All right, so who else has any questions? It's not working. I love your audio, bro. Whatever. I messaged it to you. I like ECAD there. I like ECAD, and hold on. What else am I looking at? ECAD. Let's go to orders. Come on, I want this puppy to come back down. That thing's gone. I'm not liking this, but this is what I'm liking. All right, so yeah, he's off. All right, I'll talk to him later. So, all right, does anyone have anything else they want to go over? You got me here now. If not, I'm going to call it a night. But hopefully, hopefully everyone's kind of started. I've been trying to look at S&P. There we go. I've been trying to send out the charts as I'm tracking it, so that you can see when I'm doing certain, when I'm in phase B of it, then phase C, and then when I jump into the trade, based off of my confirmations. So missed a huge one on AU. Oh, you did. Hey, gold was on the 10-minute today. I was looking a little different, but it was off the 10-minute. Let's see, AU.